August 24th, 79. AD. Pompeii looks calm. In under a day, it dies. Morning trade fills these streets, bread, fish, laughter, while Vesuvius watches. A faint boom rolls in. Heads turn. The air tastes like stone. They've ignored quakes for years. Now the ground isn't asking anymore. Ovens still burn. Pompeii's last bread is being baked today. Steam curls through the bathhouse and voices echo off mosaic walls. For a moment, warm water feels like safety, until the mountain changes the rules. In wealthy atriums, frescoes glow and fountains whisper, gold, wine, and gossip, signs of empire. Unaware that ash will soon turn every color into gray. Dogs whine and pull at their chains. Birds lift off in sudden waves, reading the tremors and gases long before humans admit something is wrong. Outside the walls, farmers work the vines in rich, black soil. The land is fertile because Vesuvius has erupted before, feeding fields with disaster. By midday, that thin smoke will explode into a column taller than any storm cloud. When it rises, the entire bay will see it, and nowhere can hide. Just after midday, the summit tears open with a sound like the sky splitting. A shock wave runs across the city and Pompeii freezes, listening. A Plinian column rises, towering higher than thunderheads, punching toward the stratosphere. At the top, it spreads outward, an ash umbrella drifting toward Pompeii. Up close, ash is glass, so fine it moves like smoke now. Then the first stones fall, white pumice, light as foam, sharp as glass. They tick across tile and roof, a deadly rain that doesn't stop. People step into the streets and look up, mouths open, eyes wide. The sun fades behind ash, and panic finally finds its voice. Horses scream inside stables. Livestock bolt down alleys. The city's heartbeat becomes a stampede, fighting for space as pumice thickens underfoot. Pumice piles fast on every roof beam and courtyard wall. The strongest timber begins to groan, and the first houses sag under an invisible weight. Inside one home, a family gathers coins and a few keepsakes. Every Pompeian faces the same choice: shelter and hope, or flee into a sky of stone. Within hours, streets turn into rivers of people. Carts, animals, children, bundles. Movement slows to a crawl as pumice drifts rise around ankles. Midday becomes dusk. Light turns brown-gray as if someone dims the world. The air grows gritty and every breath leaves a taste of rock. The sun becomes a red coin, daylight strangled by ash today. Even the gods vanish first, marble statues whitening under falling pumice. Temples and columns blur into the storm as if history is erased in real time. Earthquakes return, sharper now, cracking plaster, snapping pottery, tilting walls. The city lurches beneath its own burial, turning escape into chaos. By afternoon, pumice is ankle deep, and each step crunches like broken shells. People wrap cloth over their mouths, trying to filter dust that won't be filtered. In the poorer districts, roofs fail first. A beam snaps, tiles slide, and a room collapses in a burst of dust. Stone doesn't care who hesitates. Impacts drum on helmets and baskets. Each strike a warning to run harder. Strangers become family in seconds, hands reaching through dust to pull someone upright. In disasters, the smallest kindness can decide who keeps moving. Some race toward the sea, believing water means safety, but ash blankets the waves, and pumice clatters on wooden decks. Even the harbor is under attack. Across the bay at Misenum, Pliny the Younger studies the towering cloud and understands its shape is a warning. He orders ships prepared, turning curiosity into rescue. The wind carries the falling pumice directly toward Pompeii, the unlucky target of the plume. Above, the column keeps rising, feeding the storm with fresh rock. Lightning flickers inside the ash cloud, volcanic electricity born from colliding particles. Each flash reveals a sky that looks less like weather and more like war. Some improvise protection, pillows, baskets, cloaks tied over heads. They look absurd for a moment, until a stone strikes, and the improvisation becomes survival. In temples, prayers rise into the same dark air. Faith fights for space with fear as incense mixes with ash, and the floor turns white beneath kneeling hands. Afternoon becomes night. Torches ignite, but ash steals their glow, scattering light into a weak orange haze. The streets feel suddenly unfamiliar. At the gates, Pompeii jams. Carts wedge between walls. People push. Children cry. The city is trying to breathe through a narrow throat while stone keeps falling. In stables, ash turns air into paste. Animals panic, lungs filling with grit, while caretakers cough and wrap cloth tighter. The danger now is invisible until it isn't. It's night now, but the eruption hasn't ended. Stones keep falling, roofs keep failing, and the deadliest phase is still ahead, forming on the mountain. In darkness, you can't see the danger, only hear it. Beams creaking, tiles sliding, distant crashes. Each sound is another home giving up under the weight. Families huddle in atriums and hallways, counting heartbeats between tremors. Lamp flames shiver, water turns gray, and every cough feels louder than the thunder outside. Outside the walls, escape becomes a march through drifting stone. Wind drives ash sideways, blinding eyes and scouring skin. Even the strong begin to stumble. On Vesuvius's slopes, the eruption column starts to collapse. Hot avalanches of ash form in the darkness. Pyroclastic currents racing downhill faster than any sprint. Pliny reaches the coast near Stabii, where ash falls like heavy snow. He tries to calm others, to read the wind, to plan an exit, while the sea grows strange. Inside Pompeii, shelter turns into a trap. Ceilings fail, corridors fill, and dust explodes into the air. People run with hands over heads, blinded by their own homes. Around midnight, the ground shudders again. Buried streets vibrate, pottery rattles, and walls crack. Pompeii is half entombed and still shaking itself apart. Now Pumice is knee-deep. People fall, vanish in the crowd, stand again and keep moving. Stopping means burial, moving means pain, and a chance. Ash is not smoke, it's rock, ground to powder, scraping lungs with every breath. Cloth helps a little, but the city is breathing a quarry. Hours pass with no sunrise, only deeper darkness and a roar that never ends. Torches sputter, voices fade, and the air feels thick, as if reality is closing in. Then the eruption changes. The tall column collapses and dense ash clouds pour outward. What comes next is a ground-hugging hurricane, hot, fast, and unstoppable. A surge can outrun a sprint, hot, heavy, and silent until it's close. At dawn, survivors glimpse it through thinning ash, a dark wall rolling low across fields and roads. Trees vanish into it. The horizon disappears behind moving gray. It hits the city like a blast furnace made of dust. Torches die in an instant. Air becomes ash, and ash becomes darkness, filling lungs before minds understand. Indoors, doors slam, but ash finds every crack. Heat rises, lamps go out, and rooms turn pitch black. People cough once, twice, and then sound itself is swallowed. For many, there is no escape. In seconds, oxygen vanishes, bodies stumble, and hands reach for walls that aren't there. Pompeii's screams become muffled whispers inside ash. A second surge follows, stronger, faster, picking up debris and tearing at roofs and doors. Anything still standing is stripped, battered, and buried under another wave. By the third surge, Pompeii is no longer a city. It's a shape beneath moving ash. Streets erased, rooms sealed, life reduced to outlines of where it had been. Painted walls and bright mosaics disappear under drifting gray. Color, names, laughter, sealed away as ash hardens like cement. Destruction becomes preservation, one layer at a time. From above, the city vanishes street by street. The grid of Pompeii becomes a faint ghost under pale pumice. Even the Forum is just a bump in a blank landscape. Across the bay, the eruption continues, columns rising, collapsing, feeding new surges. Waves churn under falling ash, and the coastline becomes a shadow beneath a dirty sky. Then the sound drains away. Ash settles, soft as snow but heavy as stone. The world goes quiet, and it feels as if Pompeii never existed at all. On distant hills, survivors watch the plume and understand what it means. Whatever lies beneath that cloud is gone. Homes, neighbors, memories, buried in a single night. Sunlight returns, filtered through haze, turning everything gray-blue. Fields are coated, vines crushed, roads erased. The landscape is familiar in shape and changed in substance. Meters of pumice and ash seal the city like a lid. Under that blanket, rooms remain closed, footsteps remain printed, and objects remain exactly where they fell, waiting. Seasons turn, rain compacts ash into stone. Above it, kingdoms rise and fall, and languages change, while beneath, Pompeii sleeps in perfect silence. Nearly 17 centuries later, digging hits stone, then walls, then streets. Lantern light reveals frescoes and doorways as if someone left yesterday and never came back. A ring, a footprint, small things that pull a lost city back. Scientists pour plaster into empty cavities in the ash, and human forms reappear, frozen gestures of escape. Not legend, just the final seconds, made solid. Today, archaeologists brush dust from mosaics and read graffiti on ancient walls. Every crack is a clue, every footprint a sentence, every room a snapshot. From above, Pompeii looks like a city again. Streets reopened, courtyards exposed, roofless houses arranged like a map, and always, Vesuvius sits nearby, quiet and watching. Vesuvius isn't a relic, it's a living volcano. Quiet now, green on its slopes, but built from the same forces that once lifted a column into the sky. Pompeii didn't fall because people were foolish. Nature changed faster than belief. Under this ground is a whole world, preserved in ash, reminding us how quickly normal can end.